Welcome, everybody. I am so happy to be here tonight. I want to share some things with you that just are very, very meaningful to me. And I think they may be meaningful to you too. Um, the title of this was The Eight Pillars. And, I've done that so many times. But in the middle of the night last night, I was awakened by spirit with information that was to be delivered to you tonight. So I wanted to change it a little bit. This is really more about high frequency wellness. As you raise your frequency, you raise your consciousness. And that's what this is all about. This time period right now is about raising our consciousness. And high consciousness food, truly, this is the most powerful food you can use for consciousness. But, one of the things that, in my eight pillars, one of the top things is your mental attitude, your positive attitude. And one of the things that I do when I use my I Hercules, which I do many times a day, many times a day. I mean, I've got these everywhere in my house. Um, I put it to my third eye. You know, this is consciousness. This product is conscious. And if I put it to my higher consciousness and I say to myself, whatever it is that I want to program this, I can program this. These molecules are high frequency molecules. And so I want this to go to every cell in my body. I want this to awaken my hips. That's where my biggest challenge is in my hips. But I want it to open my heart and open my throat so that I may speak truth. You can program this. These little molecules are going to have the high frequency to be able to hold that consciousness. And if I hold it to my heart and let my heart open and receive this, I introduced this to Master Lama Rasaji, who's one of the 12 yoga masters from Tibet and Tai Chi Gong masters. And he said when he held it in his hand, he felt it opening up the energy meridians in his body without even putting it in under his tongue, and that was when I went, oh yeah. Oh yeah. This this is really high frequency wellness. Tesla says if you want to understand anything, go to frequency, energy, and vibration. And that's what these products are. This is truly high frequency wellness for your body. Um, we're electromagnetic beings. Our thoughts are electrical. Our thoughts are very powerful. When we think a thought, it charges. It's a frequency, and it's electrical. It puts out an electrical pulse. Our heart is magnetic. And the frequency that our heart puts out is 5,000 times more powerful than our thoughts. So this is electrical magnetic being, and that's what we are. And so I want to talk more about that tonight because that's something, we're always touching on the physical, but this is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. This contains all of those dimensions, levels, frequencies. Um, the Bible says you want to be on the earth, but not of it. The earth is the first thing, is the first element that I want to talk about. So I kind of want to go through elements rather than the 8 pillars. Earth is our mother. The earth is where our food is grown. The earth is what we're created from. And being of the earth, from on the earth, but not of it, has a real special meaning in my mind. But let's talk about what comes from the earth. Our food comes from the earth. When you go into a grocery store today, 90% or more of what's in the grocery store is really not food. It's not food from God's garden. It's not vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds. It's packaged and processed and chemicalized, and that's not food. So I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, what are you eating? What food are you putting in your body? Because it is time for us to raise up in our consciousness. And Cheerios is not going to get you there, you know. Um, M&Ms are not going to get you there. Those are dead, chemicalized, processed. I don't even know what to call it because it really is not food. But people are always saying to me, if I use iHercules, do I need to change my diet? And I say, no, you really don't. You can eat anything you want. I mean, that's your choice. However, if you put a lot of processed, chemicalized, packaged stuff that has no life force in it, then when you spray iHercules and it goes right into your bloodstream, it's going to have to start working on cleaning that out of your body. But if you put in real food, then you can start from there. You're starting at a higher level. Do you know that every time you put something that's sugared or chemicalized or processed or whatever into your body, everything clamps down? But one of the things I've always said is, when you spray iHercules under your tongue, the body relaxes. The circulation relaxes and opens to receive it because this is the highest frequency food from God's garden. That's why I'm still doing it many times a day. This is the most important food I can put in my body. And there is nothing that can compare with it. But I'm also real careful about what else I put in my body. And I know that I'm not a fanatic about it. I mean, if I go to a birthday party, I might have a little piece of cake, but I may spray a little bit more to, help my body deal with that stressor, because chemicals are stressors on our bodies. So food from God's garden and iHercules, and also iRevive. iRevive is a food. Even though it was created for the skin, once it works on the skin, the fibroblast stem cells go in, but you can actually take this and put it on a cracker and eat it, and it'll go into the stomach and begin nourishing. It's like a good prebiotic, probiotic, but it also is antiseptic, antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial. And people with digestive issues are finding iHercules has been remarkable. And I have a wonderful digestive and elimination tract. But last week I ate something that was, I don't know. I felt like I got bloated and then I got pain in my stomach and I'm going, what on earth? So that was the first time I really ever ate it because I didn't really have the need to. And it was amazing within a matter of minutes. This is high frequency, high consciousness food. What do you think that food is doing in your body? Yeah, we know that it is opening the circulation and cleaning the blood, boosting the immune system, stimulating our own stem cells, reversing biological age and issues. But that's usually where we stop. But if you're putting high frequency molecules into your bloodstream, it's raising your frequency. And when the frequency raises, your consciousness raises. And I know that there's a lot of people who've been trying to say this, but they didn't have the words to say it. But that's really what's happening. We are raising up in consciousness as we use these amazing new extracts, foods. They're food. Um, One of the things that I noticed the other night when I was sleeping or when I was awakened was that I saw myself as a battery. And, batteries can go dead, just like our bodies can go dead. But batteries they're connectors. I look at myself as a connector, as a catalyst, with my feet on the ground. Oh, that was the other point I wanted to make about the earth is take your shoes off and go walk outside. Get grounded. That earth is our mother, and the more time we can spend in nature, the more time we can spend with our feet on the ground or our backs up against a tree, the more connected we get to the negative polarity, our Mother Earth polarity. And that is so important. But with your feet on the ground, being on the earth, but not of it, means it needs to raise up as well and open up the top polarity, the positive polarity, which connects with source, God, whatever you want to call the oneness, the supreme being. So there's some things that you can do to make your battery stronger besides giving it this amazing food. And, this does alkalinize the body. But oh my gosh. Well, when we're talking about a battery, it needs to have juice. And, it used to be that doctors told you eat a lot of salt. Now they're telling you not to. But you know what? Salt is a catalyst. The body can't function without salts. And I was always told, don't eat salt because I had high blood pressure back in the day. And but I kept eating salt and it never made any difference. And I love salt. I love salt, but there are all different qualities of salt. But salt is what will light that spark in that battery. And there's something that you can make that will enhance the water that you drink. And that it's called Sole, Sole. And if you take a glass of water, just like an 8-ounce glass, doesn't even have to be that big, glass of water, this tall of a glass of water, and put a quarter of the cup of salt in there. And let me tell you what kind of salts I would recommend. There's one, the best one that I know of is called Baja. And this is all stuff you can get on Amazon. There's a Redmond salt. That's probably number two. Number three is Celtic salt. Number four is Himalayan. I used to think Himalayan was the best, but I've learned otherwise. Um, if you put a quarter of a cup of salt in there and then fill it up with warm or hot water and let it sit. I let it sit overnight. I put it in the refrigerator. And then the next morning, I take a teaspoon of that and put it in my glass of water. Because that salt, especially those brands, are containing high amounts of minerals, which are required to make that connection in the battery. You put it to make your battery fresh. And I've been doing that every day. And it really makes a difference because you're getting the minerals. Your body doesn't work without minerals. So I put that in my water. And when I get out of bed in the morning, I drink a big glass of water. This is about the size you drink like that. But I'll put a teaspoon of that sole in my water so that I've got minerals in my body. And then after and water. So when you get up in the morning, you're just totally dehydrated. And then I do my spray after that. So my body is hydrated, mineralized, and then I can put the most high quality food in my body with my eye Hercules. So I've talked about the earth. And then I've talked about the battery, but let's go a little bit further into the water. Um, yeah, I put salt in my water, but I would say probably 80% or more of the people that I talk with, and there's a lot of them, um, when I ask them questions about how much water are you drinking, they go, "Oh, I always have a bottle of water with me," but they don't know how much they're drinking. And so many of our problems come from dehydration. It's that simple. When I when I was little, and that was 76 years ago, when we would go to the doctor would always say, "Are you drinking your 8 big glasses of water a day?" My mother always said yes. And she had this little system where that was in the days when you actually could drink out of your sink. Don't drink out of your sink. Oh my God. Anyway, there was a window above it, and on each side there was a little ledge. And she had 8 pennies. And then first thing in the morning, she'd drink a glass of water and move 1 penny to the other side. So that by the end of the day, she would have all 8 pennies moved from one side to the other. And she aged very well because she never let herself get dehydrated. And I would see her at night. Sometimes if she hadn't got them all, you know, drunk during the day, she'd be standing there drinking a couple glasses of water to make sure she could move all 8 of them over there. Most people are not that conscious. And 8 glasses are fine for somebody, but not somebody that's 300 pounds or somebody that's 100 pounds. You know, the amount of water you should be putting in your body every day is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should get 100 ounces. You know, if you weigh 100 pounds, you have 50 ounces. This is how good my math is that I'm not going to take anybody's major weight there and divide it by two. And that's never been my forte. Drink water. The first thing that dehydrates in your body is your brain. Your brain is 85% water. And it gets dehydrated, you don't make good decisions about anything. Second thing that dehydrates is your bloodstream. And we are here opening up our bloodstream. We are here cleaning the blood. If the bloodstream's dehydrated, what happens? It tightens down and concentrates all those toxic things. You need to drink water. So there's one other thing that I want to talk to you about, and it has to do with the water in our body. And that is, we need to stay alkaline. And the air we breathe is acidic. The water we drink pretty much is acidic. Almost all of the foods we eat are acidic unless they're fresh vegetables, greens and nuts, and um, some of the low sugar fruit are alkaline. So when you look at what you eat during the day and that you're breathing toxic soup, um, it's pretty hard to stay alkaline, even with I Hercules, and especially, well, even when you're doing I Hercules, this alkalinizes the body by helping to clean the acidic things out of our blood. But there's something else that I've been doing, thanks to my friend Virgil, and that is I do pH strips all day long to know if my body is alkaline or not. Now, this is there. You can buy pH strips on Amazon or in Walgreens. They're like $5, and let me just show you this, and then I'll tell you how to use them. So there's the color scale, and what you do with these, you can use it on saliva, but the most effective way to tell what your pH level is to take a strip like this and pee on it. And it will turn a color. It'll turn one of these colors. And if the color is yellow, orange, or red, you're acidic. If it's this light green, you're just into the neutral. And if you get into the dark green, then you're in a really good acidic. And if you're clear up here, you're too acidic, which I've never known anybody that was too acidic, but I'm sure it happens. But if you pee on a strip and it is not dark green, then the easiest way to alkalinize your entire system is to take baking soda, like a teaspoon or two of baking soda, put it in a little glass of water, mix it up, and drink it. Now, just like with the salts, you want to get a really high quality baking soda, one that has no aluminum. Most of the baking sodas in your grocery store have aluminum in them. Why, I don't know, because aluminum is toxic to our bodies and we don't ever want to buy that kind. But there are many kinds. I just go on Amazon and get one that doesn't have aluminum. And then I keep this in my bathroom, and every time I go in there, almost every time, I will see where my pH level is. And if you can keep your pH level alkaline, amazing things will happen in your body because your body was meant to be alkaline. You're living in the garden where you're eating the leaves and the herbs and the fruits. Your body would be alkaline, but we have so damaged our environment that we're not alkaline. um, I'm surprised with as good as my diet is and as much of this, I still use quite a bit of baking soda to get myself up into that higher green level. So I wanted to share that with you. Um, And that has to do with your water because it's the water in your body. You just want to keep it alkaline. The next, and so those are two elements. The earth element has to do with your root chakra. The water element is your abdomen, your belly. The next element is fire, and that's in our heart area. And fire, I almost always have candles lit. Fire is such a powerful element. Um, but when you think of fire and you what do you think of? I think of energy. I think of high energy. And so when I think of high energy, I think of exercising. Now, I don't do, I'm 76. I don't do a lot of high cardio or anything like that. Plus, I still, even though I can walk with no pain, I still have bone on bone in my hips. I'm in the process of growing cartilage. It's another reason I want to stay really hydrated. I think one of the reasons that my cartilage dried up was because I was dehydrated a lot. Um, so I think of exercise and you gotta move. For the 2 years that I sat in a wheelchair and did not exercise, I mean, I did some little weights like, but I really didn't get much exercise at all because I couldn't put any weight on my legs and I was just not moving much. And that does awful things to your body. Th- Things just quit working. So the exercise is so, so, so important. I do an exercise called Tai Chi Gong. It's an ancient yoga form. Um, More than 3,000 years ago, it was developed by Lao Tzu and kept sacred in a Tibetan monastery that's 3,000 years old. And that moves everything and it moves energy in my body. And it's a wonderful exercise. But whatever exercise you're doing, just walk every day. You need and walk outside in nature. Get that sun on you. We've been taught everything is bad for us. You know, are you putting sunscreen on your body? I never did. I always thought, why would I? Sun is good. I mean, you don't want to burn your skin off, but when skin cancers got really, really rampant was after they started saying, oh, the sun is bad, you need sunscreen. Um, get out in the sun, get your feet bare, get out in nature, commune with nature. You're part of nature. You're not separate from it. We are part of nature. So going back to that fire and the exercise, walk if you can't run, run if you can, jump on a jogger, do yoga, do Tai Chi, do Qigong, ride your stationary bike, get that blood pumping through your body, get that fired up enough in your body that you sweat. That fire element is so important. That exercise is so important. We exercise our minds a lot, but a lot of us as we get older don't exercise our bodies as much as we should be. Another element is air. And normally I would start with that because of all of the 8 pillars of all of the things that we do, the one thing that you need the most of, and you can't be without it for very long, more than a few minutes, is air. And I know that our air is polluted, but our breathing is, our life is responsible. Our air is responsible for our life. And as you learn how to breathe properly, you are refining the air in your body. I used to run a yoga school And I had a book, and I've been looking all over the house for it. Um, it was 100 different types of breath. Now, I couldn't think of 100 different types of breath, but they were in that book. And it's something you should be taught in school. It's something you should be taught when you're a child, is how to breathe. And yeah, kids are told, sit down and take a deep breath, but that's about it. But as little girls, we were taught, stand up straight, stick out your chest, and pull in your belly. And you know what? You're only getting half of the amount of oxygen into your lungs when you do that. So put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest and take a deep breath. In through your nose and then out through your mouth. Which hand moved? The hand on your belly is the one that should be moving. Do it again. Keep this hand still. If this hand is the one that's moving, then you are only getting oxygen, half the amount of oxygen into your lungs that you should be getting. And there's so many different types of breaths. If you want to calm your mind, take a deep, slow breath and count into, let's just do easy, 4, into the count of 4. Hold to the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 4. Again, inhale to the count of 4. Hold to the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 4. When you slow your breath, did you notice just 3 breaths and you're already calmed down? Breathing is an art form. There's another breath that you can use to balance your right and left hemisphere. Let me show you this one. You use your thumb, put your thumb on your nostril, and then take your ring finger. So these two are not being used. These two are. So inhale through your left nostril. Exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your, I can't think of which that is. That one. And then exhale through the opposite one. Then inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. That balances your brain waves. That balances your brain waves. If you're ever getting foggy thinking, take your iHercules, program it for clearing your thinking, spray it in your mouth, and then do a couple of alternate nostril breaths. There's another one that I really like, and it's an exercise, and it is also it's a breathing exercise. It's a physical exercise because you activate all the muscles in your core all the way up to your pineal gland. And this one is a real advanced one. You know, when you look at yogis and they're meditating and their eyes are like rolled up in their head, they're actually looking up at that third eye, and inside the center of your brain is some people call it the pineal. I've always said pineal, but that is the gateway between the physical and the spiritual. And you want to open that up. And because of all of the crud in our environment, our pineal gland gets calcified. And there's an exercise that can actually open that up. So I'm just going to show this to you, and you can play with this. So as you inhale, pull in on your abdominal muscles, and then inhale and bring that air and that energy up into your chest, into your throat, clear up into the center of your head. Look up, hold it there. And now exhale through your mouth and relax your body. That does something, doesn't it? If you just look up towards that third eye, if you just do that, that's a yogic posture. That is that the nerves in your eyes cross over the pineal gland and stimulate them. When you do this exercise, if you do this over and over again, you'll probably get a little lightheaded when you first get started, but it starts opening up that conscious connection to the divine. And these are these are these are the elements: the earth, the water, the fire, the air. And when you do these in connection with I Hercules and I Revive, and you're bathing your body all day long in the eye patches, and one of the major reasons, even if you don't have any of the 11 symptoms, 10 symptoms, pain and inflammation, joint pain, need energy, need stress management, if you need weight management, if you need better sleep, if you need male vitality, female vitality, mental clarity, or allergy relief, all of those also contain, besides all of the frequencies that are in I Hercules, they all contain frequencies to ground that energetic interference from our cell phones and our computers and all of our technologies, and even the 5G towers. This protects us, this grounds that so it doesn't interfere. There's so many things in our environment that interfere with us elevating our consciousness. But with these simple things that I've shown you, and we can do this, is given to us as a gift from God to allow us higher consciousness, more health, physical, mental, and emotional, but also connecting us to the divine. And we need to have that connection. Whatever your religion or non-religion, whatever you consider source to be, is who we are. You know, we are frequency, energy, and vibration. We are the divine within every cell of our being, because this is we are holographs. You know, it's just like within a drop of water, within that drop of water is the whole ocean. Within the ocean is a drop of water. You know, within the universe, we're a drop of that divine consciousness. And we're here in the physical, and man, we're messing up the physical. And we need to reestablish that. And what is that going to take? It's going to take us to be healthy and balanced and have mental clarity so we can make the right decisions. So those are the things I wanted to share with you. And sleep, yeah, that's one of the 8 pillars that we didn't really touch on. But you know, when your body is balanced, your energy is balanced, your body is nourished, you're hydrated, you've got all the nutrients in your body that your body requires, your pH is balanced, you're going to sleep. And if you're not, I was, I, afterthought is a very good thing. I would have liked to have made a chart so you can go back through and look at, excuse me. By the way, my water has baking soda in it. So where are you lacking in your balance of body, mind, and spirit? Where are you lacking? Are you doing enough of this? Are you eating good enough food? You don't need much if you get the good, high quality stuff. I mean, I've conducted the experiment with M&Ms where I could eat an entire bag and still be hungry and then be sick. But I can take 4 or 5 sprays of this when I'm hungry and realize, geez, maybe I'm not hungry yet. So where are you lacking in these pillars, in these elements in your body? Are you lacking in the best food on the planet? Are you lacking in pH and in getting that balanced? Are you lacking in the minerals that you're taking in? Are you lacking in taking the time to go outside and be with Mother Nature? Just breathe and be with nature. Tonight is the harvest moon. It is a full moon. And it is a moon that is about consciousness. And it's about bringing in the harvest. And so when you're all done with this, go outside, look at the moon, soak in the energetics from that beautiful light and just breathe that in. Lean your back up against the oldest tree you've got in your yard. Soak those energies in. Rest your bare feet against the ground. Connect with nature. And then, what am I missing? Oh, don't be hydrated. Please, figure out half your body weight in ounces. Get a glass container. Fill that up with how much your body needs. Put it in the refrigerator and drink from that. And I know that most of you are not. I struggle with that. And I know a lot of you are not drinking enough. And some of you have been told by doctors to cut back and only drink like 30 ounces of water a day, which I am not going to argue with your doctors, but I would sure eat a lot of watermelon or foods that have a lot of water in them, because it's just our body is so much water. Our eyes are 92% water. If you're dehydrated, your vision's not good. And then that water that you've got in your refrigerator, drink from that and see how much you really are drinking. And then most people are not going to drink it all. But make an effort the next day and the next day and see how good you can do with that and how much better you feel. There's a story from, I'm forgetting what his name was. If any of you know what I'm talking about, let me know. There was a gentleman who was a doctor in the Holocaust. I mean, and he had no medicine, but people were coming to him for advice because of the diseases that they had and the issues that they had. And he had nothing to give them except water. They had running water. And he said to them, drink a glass of water every 2 hours. That was his prescription for everybody's conditions. And so many people's conditions got better, even in those horrible environment. And when he escaped and he wrote a book about it, gosh, and he opened up an entire practice and it was all based around water. That's how important that is. So um I'm going to see do any of you have questions? And I have been just talking and I haven't gone back through um and see what questions are in here. And then if you want to ask questions, Donald, can people ask questions or do they have to put it in here?
If they raise their hand, I could bring them over.
Someone asked, how long does it take to alkalinize um, by putting a teaspoon in your glass of water? About an hour. It's like almost immediate. It's absolutely amazing. And then, it's not just the food and the air and that makes your body acid. Your body, I mean, if you are exercising, your body puts off acids. Um, if you are stressed, your body puts off acids. If you're angry, your body puts off acids. So, um, you may do baking soda several times a day. I know that when I get up in the morning, I usually need to. So, someone asked, she was on my call last week, and what was the best thing to use on a dog's eye cataracts? Um, I would spray the eye Hercules on her food or the gold, but eye Hercules. Um, my granddaughter's dog got rid of cataracts, and all we had at that time was the liquid gold. And those her dog's eyes were totally white, and she was walking into walls, couldn't see at all, and it totally cleared them up. So the eye Hercules is what I would recommend. But you can always use, and it's going to be hard to put eye revive on dog's eyes, but almost everybody that has eye issues is using that around their eyes. And then those stem cells, those fibroblasts, go in and fix things. So, yeah, I Hercules. Any other questions? I am in St. Petersburg, Florida, Melissa. And Melissa's saying, I tell my clients this every day. Amen. You're doing the good job. And, we should have been taught this as children. We should have been taught this as adults, and we just haven't been. And so this is part of my message is so important. Water and food too. Yeah. For pH. You said dark green would be acidic, but I think you meant alkaline. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. The yellow to red is acidic. This color and this yellowy green, that's 6 and 7 pH. 7 is neutral. So what I am wanting to see is in these two, 8 and 9 pH. That's what I'm looking for. Um, so when I get below that, I will do more of the baking soda. Yes, fire is the fourth chakra. It is sitting right above the cauldron of water. Before you eat or after for soda. Um, it doesn't really matter that as far as I know. I just know that when I when it when I pee and it's not that green, I go have a glass of water with that in it. So, any other questions? Thank you, Maureen, for that. I did not. What else? The body is many cries for water. Yeah, absolutely. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Yeah, and we're not sick, we're poisoned from all of this. We in toxic soup. Would you repeat the salt formula? In a glass of water, take 1/4 of a cup of that good salt, Baja, Redmond's, Celtic or Himalayan, 1/4 of a cup. Pour some hot water in it, let it sit. I usually let it sit overnight, put it in my refrigerator, and then take 1 teaspoon and put it in your glass of water when you get up in the morning. And that will give you minerals and that will charge your battery. Your battery has to have salt to make those connections, to make that electricity flow from negative to positive, from male to female, from Mother Earth to Father God. Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to share those things. It's just I I tell a lot of people these things, but I've never done it on a webinar, and I just thought um, that would be really good to share with you. Your body's many cries for water. Yeah, Dr. Batnang Gilich uh, has a book, and it's Your Body's Many Cries for Water. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, um, anything else? Any other questions? Well, I'm so glad that you joined me tonight, and I'm glad I could spend some time with you. I am so grateful that someone cared enough about me to share these amazing products. I love them. They have taken me to a whole new level of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And there are just these other few little things that you can do to balance out your body, mind, and spirit so that you can live longer, live better, feel better, love better. Yeah, that's what it's all about, loving better. You know, they say they've been doing this, and it doesn't make me happy. Um, Saying, here's Kare Possick, she's the top money earner in the company. And I'm going, I would rather be known for having the biggest heart and loving the most than earning the most money. So, but I am not unhappy about that. I mean, it's all a good thing, but it's because I care about people that I'm sharing this. And I love you all. And I think we are in this together. We have formed a community. And that's another one of those pillars is you've got to be part of a community. And you've got to have that connection through your community with God. You know, the other night, okay, I do so many webinars and launches and things. I think maybe it was on my Sunday night Zoom. Um, Somebody came on and they were talking about how seriously ill her father was, and we must have had 50 people comment that they were praying for her father. And I always do that. I mean, I pray for all of you, for all of us, for everyone daily, because we're in a major transition, and there's some big choices being made, and I'm making the one for love. I'm making the one for peace, joy, love. Over here, truth, love, simplicity. That's my motto. So we are at the top of the hour. I love you, and I am so glad you came. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we've got a presentation. I'm doing the presentation. 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Josh does a compensation. He'll jump into all the levels of compensation, and it is amazing. Thursday, Maureen Solomon is on doing a presentation at 7, and then at 9 o'clock, Dr. James Pruitt is doing one on how to get started in sharing. And he's amazing too. And also, I just want to remind all of you, and some of you may not have heard about, we're having a convention in Dallas, Texas next month, October 25th and 26th, Friday night for a reception and dinner, all day Saturday. And everybody's going to be there, all of the owners, even Mr. C. And you don't get to see Mr. C. You've never seen him. Only time you can do it is when there's this private sort of uh, party, and he will be there. It won't be recorded, but we'll be able to talk to him, ask our questions directly of him. James Pruitt and his wife Marcia are going to be there. Joshua and I will be there. Sally and Adam, the bioenergetics programmers, will be there. And hopefully all of you will too, so I can hug you and see you in person. And I'll tell you, when you get that many of us, there will be hundreds of us in a room with all of our high frequency energy. Good things are going to happen. So hope to see you there. So good night, everybody. Go look at the moon. Go put your back against a tree and put your bare feet on the earth and say, thank you, Mother Earth and Father God, and new extracts. Bye now.